Hey everybody, it's Shady here, and today I want to give my Switch 2 wish list. I say Switch 2, but what I mean is Nintendo's new system. Because rumors out there that developers have got dev kits, the planned release for 2024 apparently. All makes sense to me. But yeah, anyway, I just want to talk about what I want to see, because obviously Switch is like the third most successful system ever. It's probably one of my favorite systems ever made. And yeah, I just want to give my thoughts. I want to keep things realistic. I'm not going to say anything crazy. And let's get to it. Okay, number one. I think the most obvious has to be backwards compatible. That just goes without saying, you know. The Switch has such an amazing library. To lock people out of that on your next system is just silly. Personally, I think this is definitely going to happen. The question is there going to be any boosted performance or not? I personally want to see something, at least a boost mode. That was one of the best things about the PS5 and the Series X, is that you can pop in those old games and it just cleans up. If all performance issues are just gone pretty much. Like being able to play like Sekiro, for example, with a locked 60 frames a second is badass. So just imagine like Bayonetta 3, being able to play that at 60 would be awesome, because that just has a terrible unlocked frame rate. Same with like Shin Megami Tensei 5. Some issues with Tears of the Kingdom as well, those just be cleaned up and nice. Personally, I also want to see them go a step further and hopefully upscale the games. I'm not expecting them to like do any FPS boost type stuff like Microsoft, but at least upscale the games would be nice. At least make them look a bit nicer on a 4K display. But yeah, and obviously number two probably should have been number one, but obviously this just has to be a straight upgrade from the previous Switch. It just has to be, a Super Switch, a more powerful version. Don't expect it to be a Steam Deck, because obviously they have to consider battery life and portability and that sort of stuff. But I expect it to be pretty close, sort of Xbox One-ish, PS4-ish, not quite as powerful, close to you though. So it can at least they can at least run these games if they want to, because obviously one of the greatest things about the Switch is that it's been getting ports of newer games. Like bloody Mortal Kombat 1 is getting a Switch version, which is pretty cool. And yeah, there's so many great cross-gen games that we've had over these years, and it'd be awesome if those can just get a Switch release, and obviously if it's powerful enough, why not? There's tons of developers that I think if it's successful enough like the Switch was, they will put the effort in to make those ports, and as long as the base hardware is okay, it'll be possible. We've got the Series S, which is essentially like PS4 Pro-ish kind of system, and developers are going to have to make games for that at least, so it won't be too hard for them to downgrade them slightly more to get them running on their hardware. So man can hope. Obviously, and then the third, I think we've got to improve these Joy-Cons. This is one thing I really want to see. Personally, I think we need to get rid of that stick drift, sort that out, and please give me a traditional D-pad, right? These little buttons are fine, as you can see on here. It's great to have these little buttons, they're cool and all, but I just want a normal D-pad, please. And obviously, on that, I think, fourth, I want all these accessories to be compatible. Maybe not the dock, but I think the Joy-Cons, controllers, them sort of things, I want them to be like fully compatible. So I really don't want to fork out for another Pro controller, because obviously I prefer to play hand on the dock experience. So just please make sure that's possible, okay? Next up, I think, number five, the docked experience just has to be better. It's serviceable, but it just doesn't feel premium enough for me. And obviously one thing I want to see, well, these are rumors anyway that we've heard, so I think it's realistic. Okay, hopefully it can upscale to 4K or as close to as it needs to. Obviously it'll depend on the game. And yeah, I think not only that, but we need things like HDR, some good surround sound, that sort of stuff, just to make it feel, like a true home system, not just a handheld that's allowing you to play on a TV, which the original Switch feels like. I mean, it's fine, it's a good experience, but it could just be a little bit better, number six, I really think that, let's make sure that we have a good, strong launch lineup. The original the original Switch was great because all of these Wii U games just basically, you know, flopped massively. The Wii U wasn't a success, but they had all these great games, and they were able just to chuck them on. You know, they had Breath of the Wild and Mario Kart 8, like pretty much day one, near enough. Mario Kart 8 came a little bit later, but you know, you've saved a lot of these games, or you haven't released certain series or sequels to them. So, you know, you can just do that on this system. Like, I think Mario Kart 9 is a must day one, or at least in the launch window. A new 3D Mario game, we've technically only had one really, but with Odyssey, 1.5 if you include Bowser's Fury. So let's get that on there. Personally, I think this is going to be a crazy one, but let's get a remake of Ocarina of Time, you know, maybe even Majora's Mask. We have those 3DS versions, but let's just do an even better job. You know, remake from the ground up. We did the one with what was it called again? Link to the I can't remember what it's called. Link's Awakening. It took me a minute, but yeah, we did that. So why not do the same with Ocarina of Time? It would just be crazy not to, really. It's like probably what the most highest rated game of all time or something, or like the most popular game ever, a fan favorite. So why not just remake it for this new system? It just makes sense. I mean, you teased us with this with the Wii U with that Zelda demo, so you know, it'd be so awesome if you finally did it. Final Fantasy VII's got a remake, so why not this? You know, be awesome. What are we on? I think that was number 7. Yeah, I think number 8. I think one that I think we all want to see is definitely you know, there was those 2 missing Zelda games, bloody, you know, Twilight Princess HD and Wind Waker HD. I think we really want to see these on the new Switch. You know, if it's coming out next year, I just don't see why they would bother releasing it on this current Switch. I think they're obviously going to save it for the next one. Only makes sense. Personally, I want you to release them as a double pack, but I'm sure they'll just release them separately. You know, it's Nintendo, so that's what they do. Okay, and then number 9, I think you know, can we make sure that the battery life is actually good day one? You know, that was the annoying thing about the original model of the Switch, is that it had a really poor battery life. I think, like, depending on the game, like I think Xenoblade Chronicles or Breath of the Wild, you were lucky to get a couple hours at that, and you know, they improved it as they went on. But you know, let's have a good strong battery day one instead. You know, because there's basically what, like, well, I guess 4 variations of the Switch, but they basically did a redesign of it just to improve the battery life, and then did it even more with the OLED model. You know, I don't know why they always do this with like a lot of handhelds. Like it was the same with the 3DS. Like, you know, the DS had almost like a 10 fucking hour battery life, but then the 3DS started off and it had like, I don't know, a 4 hour or something battery life. Like, you know, I know it's going to be more powerful, so just put in a battery that makes sense. It only makes sense, you know. And finally, I didn't even say this was a top 10, but I just ended up doing 10 things. I think I just want to see, you know, I don't know this happening, but can we make sure we have an OLED screen day one again? You know, apparently the rumors are LCD. I just don't like that idea. You know, playing the OLED and going back to an LCD is just, it's not where it's at. Okay. The great thing about having that OLED screen is you can just have it be 720p still, and you don't have to worry, and it'll just pop and look great. Personally, would prefer 1080p though, but you know, just get it done, make it feel like that premium experience. Like, I don't know if you guys remember, but when the 3DS came out, the original model, it had this like sleek kind of metallic design to it, had this really cool kind of stylus that sort of folded out. It looked so sick. I want this new Switch to have that kind of premium look to it, where, you know, when you see it, you know it's the new system just by looking at that, just by seeing that D-pad, seeing that pristine 1080p OLED screen. Maybe change the color of the console itself. Maybe instead of being black, it could be like red or white or something like that, you know, just to distinguish it. Yeah, that's pretty much what I want to see, really. I'm really excited to see what they do, and I hope they look at, well, they're not going to see this video, but I hope that we see some of these things in there. I think these are all kind of like realistic expectations anyway. But anyway, if you did find this video and liked it, and you enjoyed it, like, subscribe, come back for more, and I'll catch you in the next one. Have a great day.